Welcome back. Wednesday, 4/8/2020. We are starting on 10.4, which is on page 561. Hope you guys are ready for this math lesson. It is difficult, okay? It is going to be a little bit time consuming, but I'm going to do my best to try and teach you the two different ways that you can solve these problems. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start on page 561. Okay, happy birthday today, Christian. Page 561, what I'm going to do is there's a picture of a girl and then two sand pails on there. So if I'm looking here, I have my work right up here so I can follow along with you. Jerry is filling his sand pail and pouring the sand into a large bucket. Can the bucket hold 8 of Jerry's pails of sand? Okay, if you look down below, Jerry's pail of sand holds 2 3/4 pounds of sand. All right, the large bucket holds 30 pounds. So what we need to do, okay, there's two different ways to solve this. So 8 times 2 3/4. Okay, so there's two different ways to solve it. I'm going to teach you both ways right now. All right, I'm going to touch on both of them for the next page as well because they talk about it a little bit. But there's two different ways to solve it. So you would set it up like this: 8 times 2 3/4, because that's how much Jerry's pail holds. First thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply these two numbers together. 8 times 2. We know that 8 times 2 equals 16. That's the very first part. The second part is you got to take the 8 and multiply it. Okay, 8 times 3/4. All right, so just remember this 16, okay? 8 times 3/4. Remember, we don't touch the denominators. The denominators stay the same. What's 3 times 8? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18, 21, 24. All right, 24, okay? All right, so 8 times 3 equals 24, and 24 over 4 actually equals, so how many times is 4 going to 24? Remember, improper fraction. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So it's 6. All right, so what you're going to have to do now is take this number and add it to your 16 that you had before. What's 16 plus 6? So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so our answer would be 22. So does it work? Yes. Okay, now this is the one way that they're going to teach you how to solve it. The next way, which I personally feel might be the easier of the two ways, is to keep the whole number of 8, but convert your mixed number back into an improper fraction. What do I mean by that? Well, initially your problem was 8 times, and then what is his pail? It's 2 3/4. Okay? So this 8, just bring it down. It means the same thing. 8 times. Now, do you remember how to convert a mixed number back into an improper fraction? All right, remember improper fraction, the bigger numbers on top, small numbers on the bottom. Well, this is how you do it. This is how you do. All right, so here we go. You multiply the bottom and then you add the top. Okay, our denominator stays the same. Okay, so 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So 8's in your head, and then you have to add 3. 9, 10, 11. All righty. Okay, so this is what you could do this way. It might be easier for you to solve it this way. All right, so 8 times 11, all right, we all know that that would be 88, and then it's over 4. Okay, now Mr. McQueen, this seems extremely difficult. Yes, it is, but it's not really, okay? So you have to figure out how many times can 4 go into 88 without going over. Watch this. 4 can go into 8 how many times? 4, 8. So it can go in twice. So we're done with that, 8. We don't need him anymore. How many times can 4 go into this 8? We just said it. Twice. So if you notice, we got 22 for an answer both times. I believe okay, with a little help maybe from your parents, or if you needed a calculator for this part, okay, especially if it's a whole number, it might be easier to solve it this way. You can still solve it the other way. We're going to do it both ways throughout this whole lesson so that you know both ways, okay? But remember, this is the way where we keep this number the whole time, and then we convert this mixed number back into an improper fraction. All right, so on that, for that question, yes, that large bucket could still hold 8 amounts of Jerry's pail, okay? So going on to the next page, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can multiply a whole number and a mixed number to kind of convert them. There's 2 different ways, and I just showed you both ways, and my friend here is going to show me the same ways, okay? It says, Ellie wants to make 5 blankets as gifts for her friends. It takes 2 2/3 yards of fabric to make each blanket. How many yards of fabric does Ellie need? So if you look at their picture, they did part, and then you have the whole, okay? Or 5 times 2 2/3. All right, you can see that on there. Okay, 5 times 2 2/3. All right, so I'm going to write that up here. You don't have to write any of this down. It's right there in your book. Okay, they solved it 2 ways. The 2 ways that I solved it. We multiply this, and then you multiply this, and then you have to add them. The first way is 5 times 2 equals 10. Beautiful. Once you get that, box it in, circle it, whatever you want to do. The second way is 5 times 2 over 3. We know that our denominator never changes. And then 5 times 2, 5, 10. All righty. Uh-oh, improper fraction alert, improper fraction alert. How many times can 3 go into 10 without going over? 3, 6, 9, 12. Well, 12 is too high, so just 3. Okay, 3, and that was 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Put that in your head, and you got to count up to 10. 10. So that equals 1 over 3. So you take that amount, and you add it back to this, which equals 10 plus 3 is 13 and 1/3, which if you look down below is exactly what they got for an answer, 13 and 1/3. That's the one way. The next way that they solved it, just to kind of show you, all right, the other way that they solved it was that they kept this the same. They just brought it down, and then they converted this mixed number back into an improper fraction. Remember, you multiply the bottom, you add the top. Okay, so 2 times 3, 2, 4, 6. 6 plus 2 is 8 over 3. Our denominator never changes. All right, now we have to multiply 5 times 8. Denominator never changes. 5 times 8, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So you have to ask yourself, how many times can 3 go into 40 without going over? Well, I know that 3 times 10 equals 30. I know that 3 times 11 equals 33, and I'm just going to count it from there. So I have 11, all right, 33. So I'm at 34, 35, 36, that's 12, 37, 38, 39, so that's 13. I'm at 39, and I just got to go up 1 more. Okay, and if you notice that they are both the same answer. Okay, so those are the 2 different ways that you could solve these. These I will say will be a little bit more challenging for you guys to solve. But this is kind of where fractions are, okay? Especially if you're thinking about buying, let's say you had to buy more than 1 pizza for your family and you have 4 or 5 people in your family, you have to figure out how many slices you'll need to make sure everyone gets an even amount, okay, an equal amount, all right? So we're on to the guided practice page, which is 563. Okay, we're on 563. We're going to jump down to number 2. Okay, and it says find 3 times 1 1/3 using the 2 methods that you've shown. So on a sheet of paper, all right, or some space that you have, we're going to solve it both ways so you know how to solve it both ways. All right, so we have 3 times 1 1/3 We're going to solve it the first way, okay? So we're going to multiply 3 times 1, which equals 3, and then we got to multiply 3 times 1/3. 3 times 1 equals 3 over 3. Well, how many times can 3 go into 3? Count your 3's until you get to 3. 3. So just that one time. So we're going to take this 3 and we're going to add 1 to it, which equals 4. So 4 is your answer. So that's the first way. All right, I know this might be confusing. It's okay. We're all doing this, trying to learn it together. All right, so that's your first way. How do you solve it the other way, where you take the mixed number and you turn it back into an improper fraction? Remember, this number, you just bring it down, and you multiply the bottom, you add the top. What's 3 times 1? 3. What's 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay. Our 3 as our denominator stays the same. We just multiply our numerators times this. 3 times 4, 3, 6, 9, 12. All righty. And then you have to figure out how many times 3 can go into 12 without going over. 3, 6, 9, 12. Oh, right on. It is right on, which also is your answer of 4. Those are both of the ways, the two methods that you can use to solve your fractions. All right. Yes, I am going quickly, but I think if you need any additional help, I am there for you. This is tough. This is something new for all of you. So, just bear with us. I'm doing the best I can virtually, online. If you need help, feel free to ask your brother or sister who's maybe a little bit older. They can help you. If you're not sure, ask mom and dad. They can help you. And then if you're not sure more, I'm here and I am here to help you as much as possible. Okay. Number 3 and number 4, we have 2 times 2 and 1/4. Okay, that's our first one. All right, and we're going to solve that the first way. Okay, the first method. So we're going to multiply these two, and we're going to multiply these two. So 2 times 2 equals 4. Done with it, circle it, we're done with it. I'm just going to take that next part and add it to it. Next one here, we're going to put it down here so we can see, is 2 times 1/4. Well, our fourth stays the same. What's 2 times 1? It equals 2. Do I need to change anything with it? No, because it's not an improper fraction. That's a normal fraction. So we're just going to add it to here. What's 4 plus 2/4? Well, you just take it and combine it. You keep your total and then your 2/4. Okay, so that's how you would solve number 3. That the initial way. All right, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to solve number 4 the other way. Okay, I'm just trying to leave this up here so you can see it. Again, feel free to pause the video anytime and go back. All right, now the next one is 2. Oh, come on, don't go out of me now. 2 times 1 and 1/2. Okay, now we're going to do it the other way. How do we do it the other way? This number stays the same. We convert this number back into an improper fraction. What's 2 times 1? 2. Plus 1, 3. Keep the denominator never changes. What's 2 times 3? Well, that answer, my friends, is 6. Improper fraction, how many times can 2 go into 6 without going over? 2, 4, 6. Ooh, right on. Good. Which is 3. So those are the two different ways, the two different methods. I'm going to keep hopping between the two so that you know both ways. Whatever way or method works best for you, whether you just multiply it the normal way, multiply the two whole numbers and then multiply this times the fraction and then add them, or leave this whole number the same, convert this back into an improper fraction and then solve it. Whatever way works best for you, I don't care. You don't have to know the other way. I'm just trying to teach it to you, okay? Because like I said, what maybe Melvina can do might be not what Bella can do, and what Bella can do might not be what Allie can do, and vice versa, and Mark and Christian. So I have to teach you all the ways possible so that you all know how to solve these. All right. And again, if you don't know, you will. Okay. You just got to kind of stick to it. All right. So going on to the bottom, holy smokes, there's a lot to do on the bottom. All right. Guess what, my friends? We are going to do just a couple of these. All right. And then that homework page that you normally would have to do for homework, you're not going to do it. You're going to answer the ones right on this page, all right, on page 563. And then you're going to follow it up with that assignment check that I assigned to you guys on Google Docs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is maybe I'll do 4 or 5 of these on here, and then I'll ask you I'll tell you which ones I want you to do after that. So we're going to start with number 5, which starts with 2 times 3 1/2. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and do it the first way that I taught you. Okay, what's 2 times 3? 2, 4, 6. Done with it, circle it, we're all set. Now we got to take 2 times 1/2. The 2 stays the same at the denominator. 2 times 1 equals 2. 2 over 2, and that number equals that number. You know it always equals the number 1. 6 plus 1 equals 7. That is the answer to number 5. All right, that is the answer to number 5. Now, I know you're probably sitting at home going, this is very, very hard. This is very confusing, Mr. McQueen. I'm not sure if I can do this. You can, and you will, and you're going to do great at it. You just need practice, and that's what I have to give you. All right, I know it's hard, but I'm just going to make sure that we're going to do this together and just keep practicing. All right, when the going gets tough, you don't give up. All right. 2 times 1 2/5. Okay, so how am I going to solve this one? I'm going to do it the other way. The 2 stays the same. I'm going to convert this back into an improper fraction. 5 times 1 equals 5, plus 2, 6, 7. My 5 stays the same, remember. Okay, now, our denominator, Mr. McQueen, stays the same. 2 times 7, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. All right, improper fraction alert, convert it back to a mixed number. How many times can 5 go into 14 without going over? 5, 10, 15. Well, that went over, so it can only go in twice. And 5 times 2 equals 10. Put that number in here. Okay, our denominator stays the same. 10 is in my head. I got to count up to 14. 11, 12, 13, 14, which equals 4. That is my answer to number 6. If it's me and I'm trying to think like you, I think doing it this way might be the easiest way for you to solve these. Okay, this is kind of very similar to what we did yesterday, or excuse me, on Monday for our math lesson. So I think if you can solve it this way, it might be the easiest way for you to solve them. But I have to teach both ways. I just wanted you to know that. Okay. So if you're struggling, try and go back to doing it this way, where you take the mixed number, you convert it to improper fraction, and then back to a mixed number. All right, number 7 is 3 times 1 5/6. Okay, I'm going to solve it the same way I just solved it, okay? Bring that 3 down, times, multiply the bottom, you add the top. 6 times 1 equals 6. Plus 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 is my numerator. 6 stays the same. 6 stays the same. What's 3 times 11? Well, I know that any number times 11 is this number doubled. So 3, and then another 3, 33. All right. So if you're smart, which I know you are, you know your 6 facts. Okay, and I'm going to just recite them for you. You get to figure out how many times 6 can go into 33 without going over. This is an improper fraction. We got to convert it back to a mixed number. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. Oh, too high. Okay, so we have 5, which if you remember, Mr. Queen said it was 30. 6 times 5 is 30. That number goes in your head. You count up to 33. 31, 32, 33. 5 and 3, 6 is the answer for number 7. All right. Going on to the great 8, number 8. Ooh, this one looks challenging, okay? I bet you we can do it, though. 4 times 2 and 3/8. Okay, I'm going to go back to the first way we solve them. Multiply the wholes, then multiply that. Okay, so 4 times 8 equals 8. Circle it. We're all set with it. 4 times 3/8. 8 stays the same. 4 times 3 equals 12. 12 over 8. 8 goes into there once, and 4/8. So we have to add 1 plus 4/8 back to our 8 that we initially had. 8 plus 1 equals 9 and 4/8. Okay. I think that this process takes a little bit longer. I think if you don't feel confident in this yet, do it the other way. And I think that's the way you should be doing it. But like I said, all right, we're required to teach you both ways. Your job and my job is to figure out what way works best for you and solve it that way. All right. Number 9. And I'm going to show you the way that I think it's going to be better for you to solve. This way right here. 8 and 2 3/4. This 8 stays the same. Bring it down, multiplication down. Okay, now for our 2 3/4, we got to convert that back into an improper fraction. We have to multiply the denominator and then add the numerator. Remember, our denominator stays the same. That will stay as 4. So 4 times 2 for 8. So 8 plus 3, 9, 10, 11. All right. Our denominator stays the same. What's 8 times 11? Now, 11, so it's this number double. It equals 88. Okay. Holy smokes. Well, break it down. Make it easier. How many times can 4 go into 88 without going over? Well, first ask yourself, how many times can 4 go into 8? Well, that's twice. Okay, done with that one. How many times can 4 go into 8? It's twice. And there's your answer, 22. Okay. Now, my friends, I'm going to stop there. Okay. Like I said, you don't have to do the homework page. Okay. This is a very long math lesson. Right. What I'm asking you to do, okay, what I'm asking you to do is to finish the rest of the problems on this page. That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. It's 9 problems, okay? And I want you to try and solve it. If you think that this way works best for you, then solve it this way, okay? I'm going to bring the camera closer so you can see it, okay? This way requires you to keep this number the same. Then you multiply the bottom, then add the top. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. 11 over 4. Our denominator stays the same. Denominator stays the same. 8 times 11 equals 88. And then you have to ask yourself, how many times can 4 go into 8? And 4 go into 8, which is 22. Okay, so this is probably going to require some additional help on this. Positive thing is this is your last math lesson for the week. So if you have any further questions, again, all I'm asking you to do is finish this by Thursday night, Friday, okay, is your work. The assignment check will be online to make sure that you understand and are getting the needed help and that you are understanding the math lesson. If I notice that you guys are struggling with it, maybe what we'll do is we'll kind of spend a little bit more extra time doing it for next week, okay? Again, Christian, happy birthday. Hope you're having a great day today. And I hope you guys can finish this math lesson and do the best you can on it. Remember the 2 different methods, and if you need help, feel free to private comment on this or write a comment regardless. All right, take care, guys.